Good morning. Today we're going to be talking about how we apply consequences and how do we know the difference between an appropriate consequence and punishment for young people, meaning adolescents and teenagers. Punishments lead to hurt and resentment, whereas consequences lead to self-examination and learning. Consequences can be tricky to implement, so keep in mind that you don't need to be immediate or think on your feet. In fact, sometimes walking away from the heat of a situation can be your best move. By taking time to pause and reflect on what would occur in the real world, you can find a logical consequence that will help your teen to safely experience the natural effect of their irresponsible, dangerous, or simply inconsiderate behaviour. Young people are experiential learners. So, for example, not cooperating with their curfew means that they need to come home earlier the next time. Leave yourself a clear escalation path if your initial effort or efforts are unsuccessful. Consequences work best when they're fair, logical, and last for a short amount of time. Avoid punishments or applying consequences out of anger. You can do this by saying, I'd be angry too in your situation, but this conversation is getting too heated and I'm feeling angry. So I'm going to end it and I'm going to go finish cleaning the kitchen. I'm happy to discuss it more with you later if you have something new to add. This example highlights to your young person that their behaviour is not okay, as opposed to them themselves not being okay. You demonstrate that you still respect and value them and their opinion, but that you don't accept aggressive or rude communication. You model for them the possibility of maintaining self-control whilst feeling angry. It's important to avoid being sarcastic, demeaning, or disrespectful in your tone, or discussing consequences in front of their peers. Never use physical violence or impose consequences that you're not willing to follow through with or not willing to carry out. If your young person has a tantrum or starts to overheat, postpone the conversation and explain why. For example, saying, I'm sorry to see you so angry. I can't talk to you while you scream. You need to calm down. And simply walk away and give no further attention to the behaviour. Acknowledge them when they're calm. For example, thank you for calming down, because natural consequences give very clear messages about what happens when young people make poor decisions. Consequences reinforce your requests and your non-negotiable values to keep safe, communicate respectfully, and stay in touch. And there's heaps more on this on my online course, Taming Teens, on my website. But here's some examples. Here's some ways you could incorporate some negotiation of consequences into your parenting. So we might have an expectation of reparations. And this is done by holding our teens accountable for their behaviour and finding a way to make the situation better or right. For example, you might insist on replacing a broken object or repairing a relationship with a sibling after saying something nasty to them. However, they might need a certain degree of support or encouragement to make situations better. I always love to say to parents, patiently adopt a double-it rule of thumb. Never forget that due to the natural adolescent developmental process, your teen brain is in havoc. By recognising it, we can be patient and work more to their time clock than our own. So the basic premise of double it will help you stay in control when your request has been ignored. For example, when your adolescent is home late and they call you, you can say something along the lines of, okay, well, what's up? So what time will you be home? Thank you for calling me and keeping me in the loop. I'll be waiting for you. We can use humour, but not sarcasm when disciplining. So, for example, if your teen continually misses their internet or computer time, you just might turn the internet off for an extended period. And when questioned, hand them a cup of tea and a biscuit and simply say, as the administrator of this house, when the procedure isn't working, it requires some negotiation. As such, all systems are down until further notice. Would you like to enjoy a bit of old-fashioned entertainment in the meantime? Perhaps we could bake a cake or watch a movie together? Our kids will smile at that. And, okay, they might too get angry, but we can just really, really model consistency and predictability and stability. And, the reality is they can't live with us and they can't live without us. So by being clear in what matters to you, and I always stand by the idea of connection, safety, considerate behaviour and goodwill. When young people feel heard, they're more likely to be honest. And as honesty is self-multiplying in nature, the more it's practiced, the more it takes roots in our lives. So keep in mind that anger is also self-multiplying in nature, and try to limit and manage your anger as much as possible. Keep conversations alive by remaining open, passionate, and non-judgmental. And if your teen slips up with you or someone else, engage them in open conversations about how they might make things right and to feel better again. Give them credit for trying and give them the last word when making your consequences clear. So for example, you could say, I can see that you don't want to go to grandma's, but you had plenty of notice and this is a non-negotiable and we're leaving in half an hour. When they argue, remind them of the choices they make, good and bad, and that they have natural consequences and that you don't place many non-negotiable requirements on them. Remind them it's non-negotiable and reinstate your values. So if your young person argues, you simply state, sounds like that's the last word, and walk away. It affirms that it's over whilst letting them have the last word. And this avoids conflict because we can apply a logical consequence later if we need to. By giving them the last word, we're able to continue on with our lives, remove ourselves as the target, and assist our teenage child to diffuse their aggression. Adolescents are very focused on getting what they want when they want it and can be very, very focused on the battle. Remove the essential ingredient in that battle. That's you, because you will pose an immediate end to it. By testing our limits, adolescents come to know their own limits. And when parents are able to give clear structure, predictability and consistency in their parenting and in the requests and boundaries and standards of behaviour they advocate, adolescents feel secure. This framework helps them to feel safe and secure within the family context. In the moments when it feels impossible, remind yourself in a disciplined fashion that you love this wild child of yours and that your ultimate wish for them is that they grow into respectful, well-balanced, joyful and fulfilled adults. The more you can act from this intention, the greater your success will be. Thank you for watching. Please follow me on this channel and like these posts, and you can find more on the parenting courses that I offer on my website. Take care. Bye.